Good morning. Now that we got Friday, we kind of started on a end of the week, so we're going to see what Monday brings. Today's weather is extremely windy and rainy. So have the hair pulled back. I brought a hat and I brought my vest, so if it does, the temperature is supposed to drop throughout the day, so we'll see what happens there. Monday and Tuesdays are generally the slowest days of the week. But when the weather's bad, that can be completely different because people don't want to go out and get the things themselves. So we'll see. I'll update you whenever we get our first delivery. All right, we got our first order. It is for Casey's Cafe here in town. It's paying $5.20 to go 4.5 miles. All right, we have our order and the first delivery is 11 minutes away. All right, we finished that delivery and it took a really long time. The roads was blocked off by fire trucks, so I had to find an alternate route. So we got something to get started for the day, so hopefully the rest of the day is smooth sailing. We'll see how it goes. We got back to the hotspot. It is a little slow this morning. We started at 8:30. It's now 9:15, and we've only had the one delivery. We did turn one down when we first started dashing. It was for 11 miles and it was only paying $5, so we did turn that one down. But we're gonna sit here and wait a little bit and see. It, like I said, Mondays it's iffy. We may not pick up until about 11 o'clock, but I'll probably sit here for about 10 minutes. I find that if you're driving around, you'll get pinged usually a little bit quicker, but gas prices and everything, I try to maybe sit at a couple of the stores that I like to shop at and then wait there. Sometimes I can get something that way, but like I said, Monday and Tuesday are the two slow days of the week usually. So we just have to be patient. I think the biggest thing is that I set up a daily goal for myself, and I have it as an achievable goal. There are some days where I'm just underneath and I go home because it's not worth me just driving around and wasting the gas, and I always make it up later in the week. So I'm not too worried about it. That was a little stressful, that last delivery, just because I saw the fire trucks going through when I was picking it up, and of course it's right at the end of the street I needed to go to. I did find the alternative route, but I had to call support so that they know, so it doesn't count against me for my on-time ratings. And hopefully it doesn't, because it's really hard to get a person on there, so it's all an automated system. But I did get it there. I think it was probably about 4 minutes later than it was supposed to be, but it is what it is. We're just going to make the best of the day. All right, we got our first shopping order at Giant Eagle. It's for 24 items. It's one of my regular customers, and it is paying $16.05. So I'm going to get in there and get shopping, and I'll check back with you later. All right, we just dropped that one off. That one went nice and smooth. She's one of my regulars. She's super sweet. Lets me know, talks about her grandkids and how her weekend went. But I just got another order for Giant Eagle, so we're headed back to Giant Eagle for a double order. This one, combined mileage is going to be 10 miles, and there's 44 units, but only like 27 items. So we're gonna go and do that, and it's paying $26. So I will see you once we get done with that one. I wanted to give a time update. It is 10:07, and we're currently sitting at $21.50. So it's much slower than what we had on Friday to start the day, but we just take it like it is. And like I said, after 11, the lunch rush kind of starts. But this next two shopping orders, since it's going to be it's a little over $25, I think that'll get us at a good spot for the day. Wi-Fi is on. All right, so we finished those orders. Lesson learned: always double check what the items are. We have 41 items, and of those 41 items, they ended up being mostly drinks, cases of water. cases of pop. So we're gonna go deliver these. The other one is a gift. It's a bouquet of flowers, a cake, and some chocolates. So I'm taking that one first, and I will check back with you in a little bit. All right, the flowers were delivered, and now we are heading to our next delivery. They did message me and asked me to bring it to their back porch because the front porch is broken. So we'll see how this goes. All right, we got that delivered. Took 3 trips, so not too bad. Now we're gonna head back to the busier spot. I did get a Dollar General order, came right up from out in this area where I'm at. However, it was only paying $5, and it's going to push me out a little bit further than where I'm at, and I want to kind of get back into town. So we're going to head back that way and see what we can get. All right, we're back in the zone. I did stop to eat my lunch, and now we're going to go ahead and get back to dashing. It's interesting because DoorDash does these challenges from time to time, and it's funny because over the holidays, they came up every week, but I didn't know what they were for. I didn't get a notice telling me what the challenge was, so I just would get bonuses here and there for meeting the challenge. And I just got one today, just now, a couple minutes ago, for $80, and I'm not even sure what I did to reach the challenge goal. So I'm gonna have to look into that and see if I can find out, because that's pretty good. That helps out on my Monday. So it kind of drives me to keep going. All right, it is now 11:48. We're just a little over $50, so it's a really slow start to the day, but we'll see what this afternoon brings. All right, we just accepted a Dollar General order. It's paying $7.25, and it's only going about 5 miles. That's just to get to the Dollar General. The house actually looks like it's about a mile from the store. So it only is getting 3 items. All right, we completed that order, dropped it off, and we are headed back to the hot zone. I wanted to take a second and talk about goals. So when I started doing this full time, I wanted to set up goals that were achievable, that wouldn't like get me feeling more negative about things if I don't reach them, but something that is obtainable. So I started off with saying I want to make $100 a day, and then in addition to that, enough for gas for the week. So I can honestly say that I always hit that. I think there's been just a couple of days, and if I had stayed out longer, I probably would have hit it, but I decided and chose myself to go home early, so I wasn't, spending the money on gas, just trying to reach a goal for the day. But I will say that I really enjoy doing this. I was, in charge of a number of people, and I'm a people person, and I like to, if they're having an issue and they're having any kind of troubles in their lives, they would come to me and talk to me, and I wear their burden. So I wanted to just do something that is just for myself. Just, I answer to myself. The morning, if I have to get myself out here every day. I have to, get myself to stay out. And there are days that I'll go home. But I will say that, I have bills to pay just like everybody else, and that is enough for me to want to get out here. I do always say, if I don't hit my goal, that I'm going to come out on the weekend. I've never had to do that, and even to make extra, I don't want to go out on the weekend. That's not where I'm at in my life. I'm older now, things are calm, our kids are older, so I'm in a place right now where I just, want to work my, Monday through Friday, doing what I want to do. And that can change. I can go back and working a regular 9-to-5 job, or go back into operations like I was before. But at this point in my life, we're getting ready to uproot and sell our house and move. So I'm not in the position where I want to start a new career and then have to switch again. So for right now, this is what I'm doing, and I really like it. It can be a little disheartening. I'll say the Giant Eagle orders that I had today, The one that was the gift, they tipped $7. But the one that was the 41 items and heavy and multiple trips, they tipped $0. But I follow some groups and people get upset about low tippers. I just won't take the order if it's not, you know, out of the gate enough for me to take it. So that order, DoorDash was paying a base rate probably because it was a non-tipping order and due to the number of orders, and it was enough that I felt comfortable with taking it. So I'm not angry, but it can get a little disheartening because you do think about it like, wow, I just did all of that and my time, is valuable as well. But I said to myself, I'm not going to let that stuff bother me. And then 10 minutes later, I got the challenge bonus. So I think it's kind of crazy because I'm a very positive person. I believe in the power of positivity, and you get rewarded when you are grateful for what you have, I feel. So that's what I continue to do. All right, enough of me going on. We're heading back to the hotspot now. We're almost there, and we'll see what we can get here for this lunch. All right, we just accepted a $15.75 order to take Taco Bell about 8 miles. It's slow day, so we're gonna take what we get. So headed to Taco Bell now. All right, so this is a rather large order, and then while we were in there, we got an add-on order for Taco Bell, going just like, this doesn't look very far from the other customer, so we're gonna, it adds on to $7.50, so that's gonna take us up to $22.50 or $23. We'll check my math. After we deliver these two, it is a far drive, so we have about 20 minutes till we get to the area where we're going, but like I said, it's a slow day, so we've taken what we're getting. All right, so we just dropped that one off, and that brings us up to $78. It's $110. That was, I'm delivered to a house on a tree farm, so I was a little worried that I was going to need to use 4-wheel drive to get out of there because the road was not so great, but we made it. And now we're going to head back to town. This did push us out a little bit, but I'm feeling pretty good with 78 so far. Really, if we can get another $30, I'll be pretty pleased for the day, especially since we got that $80 bonus. So we might be able to call it early on a Monday. We'll see. All right, we just accepted a Pizza Hut order. It's just over here next to us, and it's going about 3 miles, and it's paying $8.20. All right, we have our Pizza Hut order, and we have to drive through town, so it's probably gonna take us about 10 minutes to get there, and because it's on the other side. But once we get there, that should bring us up to like $85. So pretty good. We're looking at, it's $135 right now. All right, we just picked up an order for Taco Bell. It's only paying, I think, $5.30. I could be wrong, but it's going to another business here just up the road, and I deliver to them often. So they're younger kids, and they always order right around now, and so I'm just gonna run it over to there and then see what else we can get. We're almost we're gonna be close to $100, and it's 2 o'clock. All right, we dropped off that Taco Bell. Immediately we got a Dollar General order. It is 6 items, 8 units, and it's paying $10.25. And Dollar General is just about 3 miles away. All right, we picked up that Dollar General order, and we are headed back. Actually, the last Dollar General order out this way went to the same neighborhood. It's only about a mile away, so we're gonna take it. The lady, there's so many Dollar Generals. I don't know if it is the same one where you are, but there's so many Dollar Generals, and this is the one that I don't mind coming to. But wow, the lady in here today, she was in a horrible mood this morning. It hasn't gotten any better. The other lady was really nice, but whew. All right, well, it's Monday. All right, we completed that order and we're headed back to the hot spot and see what else we can get. We're at $103 now, and it's 2:37. So we're gonna keep going and see if we can get ahead earlier in the week. I might be able to take off for half day on Friday, and that's always a win-win. So we're gonna just keep on trucking. All right, we just arrived to Aldi. We are doing a $9.25 shop order for 11 items. It's only going 3 miles. All right, that only took us 8 minutes, so we're going to the delivery is about 8 minutes away as well. All right, we completed that delivery and immediately got a double shop for Giant Eagle, paying $23.75 for 30 items. I did double check the items, and there's not a ton of heavy stuff. There's a bunch of like small things, so should be a nice order. It's 3:06, so we're headed back there now, and the delivery from there will be about 7 miles away.
Approximately 10 hours later.
All right, so we just finally finished up. It's 5:07, so it's been a while since I checked in. I got an extra order when I was at Giant Eagle, and one of the customers kept adding items to the order, so it took a lot longer than expected, and it's pouring down rain, but when I get home I will go over the stats. All right, made it home. We finished at $153.74. With the $80 incentive bonus, we are at $233.74 to start our Monday. So we'll see what the rest of the week will bring, and I hope everybody had a great day.